Hey everyone, this is Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel. We have a craft with me video today, and like normal, I have to clean up my mess. I was in the middle of processing some little scrap pieces on a stamp, either stitching them or doing stamped prints so that I could make snippets and page edgings. And then I remembered I had a video to film. So I like to clean up at the beginning of the video to show you can always start a new project. It only takes a minute or two to tidy things up and you can get right into the next thing. So my desk is a little different. It still looks dirty. I do so much mixed media stuff. It is a mess most of the time. But I tried this clear silicone mat and I am really liking it. It gives me better coverage. And most of this dirtiness you see is the table underneath it, but some of it's on top of it. When you're using paints and sprays and inks, it gets dirty. So we have been working on a book here, and we've been taking it apart and creating with it and seeing what we can come up with. Pardon me, cleaning up a couple more things to make space. My ink pad's over. So we have the Time Life Book of Annuals, and we have been dissecting it and creating with it. So today, what I thought I would do is take more of these boring text pages. So I want ones that pretty much just have text, but I want them to all be pertaining to flowers. Well, I may even see how many we can find that are just text. Well, do I want those? I'm thinking about making kind of a handmade, homemade cardstock. I got the idea from Joey DeFee on YouTube, and it's kind of a way to recycle paper and turn it into something else. It's kind of like making handmade paper without the pulp and having to dry it all and everything like that. So I'm quickly flipping through this gorgeous book to find the pages that have text on both sides. I kind of want to save the pictures for a different project. If I can if there's a little bit like that, that's fine. If I need to come up with probably 12 pages, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. These are so gorgeous here. We're going to do something with them later. Let's see, any more text? 6. We can use these. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Find one more that we can use, and I'm thinking there was another one in the front here. We'll just use this one. 12. Now that's using quite a few pages out of this book, so we're making a lot of great progress. I am going to pull my Tim Holtz mat back out for this. I still have not cleaned it. That's okay. I will get to it. But the reason why I'm pulling it out is because it gives me, I'll move my sewing machine, it gives me a nice frame for what I am doing here. I'm going to be pretty much covering this with the paper. It just kind of keeps my edges straight, and I'm going to be using a lot of glue. This is a great project for your junk glue that you're trying to use up. That cheap glue dropping glue sticks. That cheap glue you thought you'd try and you wound up not liking. This is a good project for that. It doesn't matter what glue you use. Really just cheap kids glue if you have any laying around. Whatever you have, use the glue you don't like for this. So we're going to be layering up the pages to create a thicker page. And then I think that my plan for this is going to be making some book page text pockets. So we will see how it comes out. I'm not sure. I've done this a couple times myself, but I've never filmed it, and I've only done it 2 or 3 times. So I'm a little unsure how it's going to come out, and that's part of the fun of all of this, is just figuring out what what to do next and what happens and how it comes out. So you're not, well, this glue isn't even working. Great. Hopefully this one will. This is just a cheap white glue that I had watered down a little bit to try to make it easier to work with, and then it just wound up being too runny. So that's why I'm using it for this. I'm just going to layer these. I'm not going to think too much about it. I'm going to go different directions, and this is all I'm doing for the glue. I'm not covering the whole thing. That's not necessary. I'm just going to try to cover this whole thing with paper. Well, come on, glue. It's moving around on me. You want to go pretty quickly on this part, because if not, you will really bog yourself down and take way too much time. You want to have more fun on part 2 of this project, which is adding color, and this part's just a little bit on the boring side, even though it's extremely satisfying. You could probably use a double-sided tape runner or double-sided tape if you have some laying around, but only if you don't use it and you're trying to use it up, because the adhesive you use here really doesn't matter. It's a great, great way to recycle, not recycle, but use up. And then we're creating kind of like a cardstock or a cardstock type base for pretty much free. Now, we've covered the entire area, but we want to add multiple layers. At least 2 layers all the way, but you may want to go for a 3rd or 4th, depending on how thick you're wanting it to be. I like 2 to 3 layers, depending on the page. Now, these are actually a slightly glossy page, which I've never tried before, and I know a lot of journalers do not like glossy, and that's fine. I mean, I don't particularly like it, but I think we tend to discriminate against the poor glossy paper, and it has a use. It has a purpose, and glossy is really not your enemy. If you do an entire journal glossy, yeah, that might get a little tacky. But if you just add some bits and pieces in, I'm thinking of the journal that Rita made recently. I think that was in yesterday's video. And she had some photographs of birds in her journal that were on like a semi-gloss, I think, or a gloss. And they were put throughout the journal, and they just added such richness. So don't hate on those poor glossy pages too much. Give them a chance. And another way to bring down the gloss, I'm not a proponent of putting the matte Mod Podge all over it to bring down the gloss. To me, it's just a waste of Mod Podge. Personally, oh, here's my last one. We did good. That was fast. Last one. Oh, my puppy's starting to growl, so you might hear him bark in the background. First day that my boys are back at school after spring break, and he's enjoying the peace and quiet, but he just heard something outside. All right, so this is our base. I know I got distracted in what I was saying and don't remember, but this is our base, and we're going to, it should be all pretty much stuck together. I'm going to flip it over, and this is how I decide which side I like better. It's okay that you see all this glue through it. It just doesn't matter. It's going to be amazing when it's done. The glue is not a problem. You hear this little howling in the background. I'm just going to use this time to tack down any corners. I hope I'm totally in frame for all of you. I bought a new cell phone holder for my space here. Where I had it propped up before was really not that safe. I'd knocked down my markers and paintbrushes way too many times and had knocked my head on it. This is much better, but I can't see the setup quite as well. So if I go out of frame just a little bit, I apologize. If I go out of frame a lot, I would love if you'd leave me a comment. That way I can look into it and make sure that I didn't miss something important. So now that I've tucked down these edges, I am going to flip it over and tuck down these edges on the back. The back's not important. I just don't want paper flopping everywhere once I cut it up. But again, I don't mind the paper edges. But we were talking about gloss paper and it being, you know, not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. It's just another kind of paper. Okay, so now we want to add color because this is pretty boring. And honestly, I love that it talks about plants and seed and soil, and all of that is great for like a gardening journal or something like that. But I honestly want a little more text, and I have a text stamp. This is a Hero Arts. Nope, it is an Inka Dinka Doo stamp, and I love this. This I got in an Amazon swap. If anybody's interested in doing a swap with me, a journal for an item for my Amazon wish list, I'd love to do it. I have so much fun doing this, and this was one of the items I got. I use it almost every day. Love this thing. So I'm going to be adding more text because I want more text, and I actually am going to be boring here and use black ink. But I probably need to go find my black ink because I probably don't have it here. So I pause it, except I can't reach the pause button. So pardon me half a second. Oh, wow, I'm going to have to reach the pause button since the mail is here. So pardon me 1 second, all of you. Well, everybody, that was a false alarm. I hope I'm in frame and you can see me. And I accidentally grabbed brown ink instead of black ink, but hey, why not? This is Stampability is brown, and I think I've had this one before or one similar, but this is many thanks to Ying Ya. Thank you for sending this to me. We're doing a swap, and she sent me some of her mixed media supplies and inks that she has not been using, and I'm making her a journal. So again, that's another thing I do. If you have, say, ink pads or other things sitting around like that, mixed media paints and stuff, I would love to swap with you because I kind of collect them and I'm a hoarder. Love that. Oh, what a rich brown. So I'm just going to do that in a lot of these white places just to add more text. It does really not have to be perfect. As you can see, okay, I'm just kind of pouncing it on there now. I wanted to do one nice print there, but I'm going to just cover most of the blank white. I did not plan this out ahead of time. I'm just kind of doing whatever. I'm talking to you while I'm doing it, so I'm not overthinking it. I'm okay if it smudges or if I get it backwards or upside down because it's only part of a layer. It is not, it's going to be in the background. It's not really going to be seen. Okay, so we got that done. All right, I don't know what next. What colors are we going to go for? Okay. This is a perfect time for my little promo. I have a little line of like inks and mists and things. They're called paper potions. This is my newest color. This is Medusa. And I had fun making it. I used an old ink pad, water, I used mica powder, and I came up with this really sea foamy green. It's a water-based, so it's not super bright, but it will give that grungy green look. I have 2 of these available for sale in my shop under Lindsay's Handmade. Limited edition. I will never have Medusa again, just these 2. So if you want them, grab them now. And I am just going to spray the whole thing just a couple times until I feel like I've sprayed it enough. I just like, it's kind of a grunge seafoam green. It is not like an alcohol ink or pigment ink where it's like super, super concentrated. It just gives that greeny grunge. Is that a word? Greeny grunge. And I actually want to keep the wetness on this paper because we are going to play with some magicals, Lindy's Magicals. I purchased this is my first set, Prairie Wildflower, and then I also have a set, Mad Hatter, that I got in Amazon swap. I love Lindy's, so anytime you want to swap Amazon with me, Lindy's is a safe bet. But I'm going to use Mission Bells Brown. This is from the Prairie Wildflower set. I'm always surprised at the color mixes on these because they're never quite what I expect. And they're always beautiful. So I'm just going to, this is kind of a hardened paintbrush that I need to clean, but it makes a good scoop. So since it's wet, I'm just going to kind of flick it on in a few places. I don't want to overdo it. This stuff is precious to me. One more. Here we go. And then brush off whatever's on there. I'm going to pull out, this time instead of the Seafoam Green, I have a little bottle. This is mostly water, but it's slightly tinted because it had coffee in it. But I'm just going to spray where I had those magicals. And yes, this is too much water, but I had too much magicals here. And then I'm going to find a paintbrush. Well, that one's all hardened. I am terrible with my paintbrushes. They're always hardened and nasty because I don't clean them. And then I guess I'll just need to clean them one of these days. All right, we'll use this big one here. I'm just going to pull the color across because I had too much of it. Oh, that's cool. And I know I'm not like an artist. I don't know what I'm doing exactly. I'm not teaching color theory. I'm not teaching anything like that. I am playing and asking you to play as well. Pull some color down here. Oh, that's cool. Remember, we're cutting up this whole thing. So there's too much magicals there. Look at those cool colors. See little blues. There's pinks. So I'm just going to kind of spread the love all around. When you cut it up, you're only going to see bits and pieces of everything. So baby wipe, baby wipe. Oh, this video won't be able to be that long. I have to go pick up my boys from school soon. So we will probably end up leaving this to dry. And then on Thursday, we will turn it into pockets and then maybe embellish the pockets. Yeah, that's how I clean my brush. Terrible, I know. Terrible. Okay. So I love what we have going on here. Let's see, what next? I want something cool. Where is that? Oh, I put it away. I'm so good. I put it away. No, why not? I'll use this stencil. And I'm just going to, what color do I want? I'm thinking green. I'm trying to use up this Hampton Art dye ink in, what's the color? I don't even know what the color is. And I don't even remember where I got it. But I'm going to use it up. I've been using it up. And just use a little brush. It's on its last leg, and I'm getting every last bit of color out of it. Not thinking too much about it, but I'm trying to find some places that do not have a whole lot of color. And then I'm just kind of adding some. I don't mind brown because I like the grungy brown, but I don't want the whole thing to turn to mud. So adding green where it has the best possibility to stand out and the least possibility to turn to mush. And again, I really do not want to overthink this. As soon as I start overthinking it, the sooner I get overwhelmed and unhappy with it. I'll do one more down in this corner. Now, my stencil's dirty with the green ink. You can see that. So I'm going to spray it with water. And then I'm going to press some of that ink off, just so I don't waste it. This is coming along really great, but we need to keep going to take it up another level. Okay, I want a stamp. Some kind of a geometric stamp. So, ooh, this might work. It's a Stampin' Up, a 2007 Stampin' Up. I think I might have gotten this from Vicky. I am not sure. I'm trying to use up this ink pad too. This is neon yellow. It's really not neon yellow. It's more like iridescent pale yellow. I think I got it at Tuesday morning. I don't remember. Obviously my stamp is dirty. So cool. We get a little bit of a pink in there too. Why not? But that's just so much fun to do this. And hey, if you absolutely hate what comes out, it was scrap paper. Throw it out. Just throw it out. Or cover it with a little bit of collage. If you have an area that you can't stand, which I'd rather just work with it because once you cut it up, it turns out really cool. But if you can't stand it, cover it up with collage, throw it out. You're not wasting any money. So that's cool. All right, I'm really liking that. I'm not sure. I think I want one more thing, and I just want to splatter it with something kind of bright. I think blue. So I have my Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist in Blue Raspberry. Love this one. I don't know what I'm going to do when it is gone. I love this color. And obviously it was a Tuesday morning that I got quite a while ago. And I'm just going to, this is kind of a bold blue. And I just want to fill in, whoa, that was a lot. If you get too much, either let it dry or just lift slightly with a wet paper towel or a wet baby wipe. Remember, you're cutting it up, so I'm happy with this. Okay, now, well, why not? Keep playing, Lindsay. It looks good. It looks really good. And I know maybe you just think it looks like a smashed wet mess. You're going to be surprised when it dries. So you're not going to get to see what it looks like when it's dried until Thursday. But Thursday, I will reveal what it looks like dried. We will cut it up and we will make pockets, a whole bunch of pockets. And then we will embellish them probably. It's not, I guess you probably think it looks like a mess, but since I've done this a few times before, I know how neat this will look when we cut it up. I hope it got you thinking, and I hope while you're waiting for Thursday's video, you'll make one of these so you can be surprised along with me on Thursday when we see how it's dried and we can cut it up together. I hope you have a fantastic day. Never stop creating, and I'll see you all later.